Hello, everyone. How's it going? This is Immigration Attorney Mamita. I'm coming to you live to talk to you about immigration and to see what may be on your minds tonight. If you have a question about immigration in general, something you've been worried about for your case, or you just want to say hi, make sure you drop your comment, your question in the box below. Let me know what state you're in, what country you're from. We are here to serve immigrants, and immigrants come from all over the world to make the United States a better place. So I love to hear about where you are from. Hello from Los Angeles, Elizabeth, hi. So the question that I would like to start off for you today is, can you get a green card if your stepchild, your US stepchild has abused you or has treated you very, very badly? This is an important question because many of you are currently married to someone, and maybe they're a U.S. citizen, or their child is a U.S. citizen, or you don't have legal status. And during the course of your marriage, during the course of living together with your stepchild, who happens to be an adult, has treated you very, very badly, and you have suffered as a result. And in particular, if you are a parent who has entered illegally and you don't have a legal entry, and other lawyers have told you that you have to leave the United States for at least 10 years before you can get anything else, I would first like to know, do you have a stepchild who has treated you badly, who has made you feel like you could never replace their parent, and that you could never do anything right? They scream at you, they insult you, all these things. If you have married the parents of this child before the child turns 16, and before they turn 18, and you are now, and they are now 21 years old or older, you may be able to get a green card through the VAWA self-petition. And for this, there are several things that we have to make sure happen. Number one, the marriage to the child must have been at least 16 years old or younger before you get married to their parent. Number two, you must have lived with this child in the same household. You must have shared a residence. And number three, you must have been treated with extreme cruelty or physical battery. So what is extreme cruelty when it comes to a stepchild's relationship? Sometimes it's something that we don't understand. We think that, a child cannot be abusive to their parent. But the reality is that it does exist. And when this exists in a relationship where the parent is an undocumented immigrant, sometimes it can qualify them for a green card. So what I'm talking about is, if you are in your stepchild, or even your child, if your adult US citizen child treats you in such a way where they're cursing at you, yelling at you, sometimes causing you to get in trouble with the law, or threatening to get you in trouble, threatening to call immigration on you, believe it or not, this definitely happens. And I'm pretty sure there's at least 5 to 10 people watching me right now who have seen this with their own eyes, and who can probably say that their sibling has done this to their mom or dad. If this has happened, then there may be a way for us to help you get a green card without you having to leave the United States. And this is something that's very, very powerful. The first thing that parents are worried about is whether their child is going to get in trouble. They don't want them to get arrested, and there's no arrest that's necessary. The US citizen child would not get in any sort of trouble. It would not go on any public record at all. If you're in this situation, please do give us a call, 212-248-7907. I would love to help, and I would love to help these hardworking moms and dads get their green cards. And while I'm here, I also want to share a couple of cases that we have just won over the weekend. We received approval of these cases. Number one, a VAWA case where my client had only 1 day of shared residency. If you have been told by other lawyers that a VAWA case is not possible for you because you don't have proof that you live together, or that you didn't live together long enough, please remember that in a VAWA case, it does not matter how long you have lived together with your spouse. There are many circumstances where your spouse might be kicking you out and you have nowhere to go, and you can't say that you've lived together for a long time. And the majority of cases, it's almost impossible to get that evidence, that clear lease, that bank statement, or whatever it is, to prove that you live together. that does not mean that you cannot win your case. And we have so many cases that are proof of this. Okay. All right. Hello to all of you. Hi, Gabby. How are you? Nice to see you, Gabby. Tyler Stewart is asking, hello, Mamita, can you get citizenship through VAWA? Very good question. Tyler, yes, you can. When you have been approved for VAWA, if you are eligible to get your green card as well, once you get your green card, you can apply for citizenship after 3 years. Now, when are the situations when you could not get your green card through VAWA? Sometimes these are cases where, let's say, you have the permanent bar. If you have the permanent bar and we cannot make that connection between what you have gone through in your marriage and your exit from the U.S. or your reentry back into the U.S., then it may not be possible for you to get your residency. But for the most part, if you are getting approved for VAWA, most people don't have those issues that would prevent them from getting green card. Of course, every case is different. I encourage you to give us a call so we can help you apply. But one of the great benefits of VAWA is if you get VAWA through your spouse, meaning that it was your spouse who the case is based upon, then you can apply for citizenship after 3 years. If your VAWA case is based upon a parent or a child, then it's still 5 years. Okay. How long can you stay out of the United States when you're a U.S. citizen? From Oluwarotimi. Oluwarotimi, when you're a United States citizen, you can basically never come back to the U.S. at all. You don't have to live in the U.S. at all. One of the unique benefits of being a U.S. citizen is that you don't have to stay in the U.S. But if you are a resident, you have a green card, you have to stay in the U.S. You have to show that you're in the U.S. for at least half of the year if you want to apply for citizenship. And there's another problem if you're a green card holder and you leave the U.S. for more than 6 months. When you come back, sometimes it can trigger Customs and Border Patrol to ask you additional questions. Okay. Rayed Asaf is from Jordan. Hi, nice to see you. I have a question. I'm in the F4 category from Pablo Aguilar. I've been in the U.S. for 20 years. When I adjust my status to become legal, do I have to go out to Mexico, and do I have to leave to enter? From Pablo. Pablo, thank you so much. So Pablo, you are an F4 category relative, which I believe means that you are a sibling of a U.S. citizen. Here's the thing. If you are the brother or a sister of a U.S. citizen and your American citizen brother or sister has applied for you, first of all, it takes a very long time. Like Pablo in the situation has been waiting for 20 years. But there is another unique problem to this. When you are not an immediate relative and you're inside the United States, you do have to be in legal status in order for you to adjust your status. And if you're not in legal status, then the only way you could get your residency is by leaving the U.S. And going for an interview outside. But in most instances, if you've been here for 20 years, you're going to need a waiver. For this waiver, you would need to be able to show hardship to your U.S. citizen or green card holding mother, father, or spouse. And if you don't have that, Pablo, I encourage you to give us a call so we can check to see if you qualify for any other way. There are several different case types that a lot of attorneys don't always explore, including the T visa and the U visa, which are mechanisms for us to help somebody get a green card and a citizenship in the future if they get approved. So let's talk about the T visa, because the T visa is something that every single person here should know about. The T visa is literally T for trafficking, and trafficking is something that sounds like what it isn't, okay? Trafficking can happen especially in a work situation where you have a boss. Take, for example, if you have a mother or father who's been working at a factory for the past 10, 15, 20 years, or wherever they work, doesn't matter how long they work. If you have ever had the impression or the doubt, or your parent has ever told you, or you have experienced your boss threatening you with immigration, withholding wages from you, threatening to get you in trouble with the law, cursing you, not just giving you low wages, but really being abusive to you. And in this way, you feel like you might get in trouble if you don't do what they say, or you might get in trouble if you don't do the work the way that they want you to do, in the sense that you not just you'll lose a job, that something bad is going to happen to you, then I encourage you to give us a call, because you may be eligible for something called the T visa. And through the T visa, we may be able to help you get your green card. And there are many problems that we can fix with the T visa, including the permanent bar. If you have the permanent bar, and you've been told by other attorneys that it's not possible for you to get a green card, the permanent bar can be fixed through the T visa. And also, we have a couple of other cases where the permanent bar can be fixed, which would include VAWA and the U visa. All right. Hello from my TikTok followers. I'm going to answer some questions from you guys now. And thank you for all the follows, guys. Can I, as a U.S. citizen, help my parents from Alma 97? Alma, it depends on how your parents entered the U.S. So if you're a U.S. citizen, but you want to help your mom or dad, it really depends, how did your mom or dad enter the U.S.? If they entered without permission, if they crossed the border illegally, then it's a little bit more difficult, and we have to look at what else they qualify for. Sometimes if you are in the military, we could do military parole in place. If you're not in the military, but your mom or dad had your aunt or uncle, your grandparents, or an old boss tried to petition for your mom or dad in the past before 2001, then maybe they qualify for something called Section 245I, adjustment of status. We just got approved for a case this weekend from my client who, if you're watching, hola, señor Humberto. He has been here in the United States for a very long time, and we were able to just help him get his green card through his daughter, through this Section 245I. So it really depends, and I encourage you to give us a call, 212-248-7907. I want to find out if you can help me in filing the I-130 and 601 waivers form within the first consultation from Nishti Farm. I can't do that, Nishti. Definitely, not only do we need to have an evaluation of your case to see if I can take your case, but this sort of a case takes time, and I can't do it within the first consultation. But I can let you know, usually during the first evaluation of your case, whether I can take your case or not. Which country are you from? I'm originally from Bangladesh. Can I help my husband's parents come here to US on a visa? From Brittany Fonseca. I've been getting this question a lot. So I've been getting this question a lot about whether I can bring my mother or my father here. I don't have a green card or a citizenship, but I want to bring my parents here. Now, unless you're a U.S. citizen, you cannot petition for a parent, and you cannot petition for your in-laws either. But they themselves are always going to be free to apply for their own visit visa. A common thing that I hear is, can I bring my parents here on a visit visa? No, you can't bring your parents here. You can't bring your in-laws here. You can't bring your brother or sister here on a visit visa. They have to apply for it themselves and they have to go through that interview. Just because you want them to come doesn't mean that the consulate's going to give them. They have to prove to the consular officer who gives them that interview whether or not they're approved. Hello, Junior. Hi, nice to see you. All right. We submitted my husband's application back in July, but have not heard anything back from immigration. From Isabel, July was just basically last week. It takes about a month to get some receipts back. Let's see. If I committed a felony, can I apply for my U visa? From Amy Thomas. Amy Thomas, I think it depends on what kind of felony you have. There are some waivers that are available for some criminal activity. Once you have deportation, can you never file for citizenship? From Island. Island, it depends. Depends on why you got your deportation, and also it depends on what you have available now. If you've already been ordered deported, that means that you don't have any status right now, and we need to first see what you're eligible for. And if you're eligible for something like VAWA or the T visa or the U visa, even sometimes for marriage, for a marriage green card, even if you have a deportation, we still have to go back and reopen your case and get it terminated. We have to do a whole bunch of things. And then if all that stuff gets approved, then you can get your green card, and then after the proper period of time, you may be able to do your citizenship. Okay, give us a call, Ellen, 212-248-7907. I have a green card. Can I bring my parents from Afghanistan? From Yusra. Yusra, you have to become a citizen first before you can petition for your parents. What happens if my husband crossed over illegally? We've been married for 3 years, almost, but no kids, from Oscar. Oscar, if your husband crossed over illegally, then we would probably need to do something called a waiver in his case, or we can check to see if he qualifies for other types of cases, okay? Give us a call, Oscar, 212-248-7907. How long does it take to hear back from USCIS after submitting to remove the conditions for a green card from Dorian, New York? Dorian, New York. When you file to remove your conditions, and guys, we just got one approved this weekend. Over this weekend, we found out that one of our clients for whom we submitted an I-751 application to remove conditions based upon extreme cruelty and battery because his spouse had not just abandoned and left him, but treated him with lots and lots of cruelty, including some physical battery. He got approved without an interview. So my client is now on his way to getting his 10-year green card without an interview, and we're going to be able to apply for citizenship as well. So if you are in that situation where you have a 2-year green card, your spouse has left you, or they won't help you file for your 10-year residency card, please give us a call. Please give us a call, 212-248-7907. This sort of a case is actually pretty complicated, and you don't want to do it alone, because if they give you an interview or they give you a request for evidence, it is crucial to have the proper experience to explain how you suffered what you suffered. Okay, it's really important. I have 100% success rate on these cases right now. And if you have filed your I-751 and you're wanting to know when you are going to get your decision, it's going to take at least a year, usually a year and a half. If immigration wants to give you an interview, which, by the way, if immigration wants to give you an interview on your I-751, it's not the end of the world, but you don't want to go to it alone and you want to make sure you prepare. If you get an interview, if they want to give you an interview on your I-751, you can expect that your case will probably take about 2 years, sometimes even more than 2 years, depending on where you live, because as you know, in some places across the country, it's very, very busy for immigration, and it takes a long time to get an interview. I-130 is approved, but I don't have an I-94. Do I have to leave the country? From Manish Mani Singh. It depends on what category of I-130 you have approved. So, can I file for my husband on a 10-year green card from Bangladesh? Bangladesh, if you have a green card and you want to file for your husband, we have to look to him to see if he's in legal status, if he's out of status or not. If he's out of status, we may need you to become a citizen first, okay? If you're a felon and you're a resident, can you leave the country and come back without a problem? From Cookie Master. Cookie Master, I definitely don't recommend it. All right, let's say hi to my Instagram folks. Hello. Can a DACA recipient travel to Puerto Rico and U.S. Virgin Island without any issues from Slick 90? Slick 90, I definitely don't recommend it, because CBP is out in full force and effect in Puerto Rico. Just because it's a U.S. territory does not mean that they may not give you some problems. So if you have DACA, I still don't recommend that you travel to Puerto Rico or U.S. Virgin Islands. Maybe go to Hawaii if you really want to go somewhere tropical, or get your advanced parole first, okay? Can we file a green card if our baby is born in the U.S. from Nitin Talwar? Nitin, that does not give you the right to file for a green card. I am on an F1 now, and my sister is a U.S. citizen. Can she apply for me, and how long can it take? My parents have their green card this year. From Mohammed. Mohammed, it sounds like you're an adult. If your sister wants to apply for you, it's going to take like 10 plus years. If you want to stay in the U.S., you have to stay in legal status, or else you'll have to leave. But you may be able to do a waiver based upon your parents, but you would still have to leave the United States, okay? To do your interview at the consulate. What is your approval rate for VAWA? From Sasko? Thanks. Sasko, very good question. This is a question that maybe I feel a little shy to talk about, but what is my approval rate on VAWAs? And for my VAWA cases, with the exception of the very first case that I ever filed, I have gotten everything approved. I have learned a lot since my first filing. My mission is to get every single case approved as it should be. And I'm happy to say that I have, with the exception of that one case, which I filed many years ago, everything else has been approved. Okay. Is it possible to go to Canada with a parole while I'm waiting for my green card from Magmalena? Yes, Magmalena, if you have advanced parole approved and you're waiting for your green card, you should be able to go to Canada, but make sure you actually have advanced parole approved, okay? And before you travel, you always want to check with your lawyer to see if it's a good idea to get approved, to get travel on your advanced parole, because every case is different. If you have any criminal history or other unique problems in your case, then you may want to be a little bit more cautious, okay? Do you deal with deportation from Janitsi? Janitsi, yes, I do. I do have cases. I have several clients who we're helping to fight deportation, but I don't take every deportation case. Depends on what kind of case. If you're detained, I don't do any detained work, but I can definitely refer you to some excellent attorneys who do detained cases. But otherwise, if you have a case, if you have a removal order or you have hearings coming up, which means that your case is active, give us a call and we'll definitely ask you some questions to make sure that you have the sort of case that we may be able to help you with. And then we'll look further to see how we can save you from deportation, okay? Let's see what else I have. Can you help me get citizenship as a permanent resident of a U.S. spouse from Mohammed Muniru? Mohammed, you can give us a call, 212-248-7907. I have a lot of people watching right now. Could you give some information about an RFE notice from NAMAT93? NAMAT, very good question. So what is an RFE and what does it mean if you get an RFE in your case? So RFE literally stands for request for evidence. And request for evidence is something that immigration can give to you. It doesn't matter what kind of case you filed. It could be a work permit. It could be a green card application. It could be VAWA. It could be a U visa, whatever it is. Anytime immigration sends you a request for evidence on your case, it means that they need you to provide a document that they think they need to approve you, or they believe you, they want you to establish exactly how you are eligible for this case. So what does it mean if you get an RFE? Well, number one, they're going to basically, they're not going to move any further on your case to approve it until you respond to it in a satisfactory manner. And number two, you're going to have a deadline to respond to the government for your RFE. So you have to basically it's sometimes it's almost like you have to argue your whole case over again to immigration, or sometimes even like they'll say that you are missing a document, but you did provide them that document, right? So whatever the case is, you have to if you get an RFE, number one, you have to make sure you respond to the RFE within the deadline that's given to you. And right now, because of COVID-19, there is an additional 60 days for the most part for almost every RFE for a response, but you want to try to get it in as soon as you can, okay? If you fail to respond to your RFE, your case will get denied. Do you take asylum cases right now from Kiria? Kiria, it depends on the type of case. It depends on if you're in court or if you want to do an affirmative asylum. I'm focusing mostly on affirmative asylums right now, but I encourage you, Kiria, to give us a call, 212-248-7907. I do love to do asylums. I am a little bit choosy about which asylum cases I take because they are a lot of work and I want to do right by my clients, so I don't take every case for asylum. I travel all over the United States for my interviews. For example, just last week, I was in Kansas City, Missouri for my client's asylum interview, which went really well. And if you have had an asylum interview, please know that you're not going to find out on the day of your interview whether you got approved or not. You typically have to wait at least a month, sometimes more than a month, sometimes a few months to get a decision on your asylum. Let's see. My VAWA was approved 3 days ago and I filed my I-485 with I-360. I was married to a US citizen. How long will it take to get my green card? From Team PB King. Team PB King, congratulations on getting your VAWA approved. Congratulations to you. So what does it mean? If you get your VAWA approved, how long will it take to get your green card if you filed it together with your I-485? So this depends on where you live. King, because it depends on whether your local office decides to give you an interview or not for your green card. Sometimes your local immigration office may decide to waive your interview when you're doing it underneath the VAWA. And if they are deciding to give you an interview, then you just have to wait. So I would say it typically takes at least 6 months. Sometimes it can take up to a year, but congratulations to you. Hi, Toya, nice to see you. I've been working for 4 years now without vacation time because my boss said she can't afford to pay me for time off. Would I be qualified for a T? By Sasha. Shasha, thank you for the question. So if your boss refuses to give you vacation and they give you the excuse that they can't afford to pay you for time off, does that qualify you for a T visa, which can lead to a green card and US citizenship? And the answer to that is it depends. If your boss is, if you ask for time off, you ask for a sick day, you ask for a lunch break, not only does your boss say they can't afford to let you take it, but they make an insinuation. They make it sound, they make you feel like because you're undocumented, you don't have papers, somehow you might even get in trouble if you ask, or you need to listen to them right now. Definitely, I would say I would want you to give us a call so we can check your case, because usually sometimes that's a sign that you are eligible for a T visa because there are other things happening. Now, there are a lot of things that can happen at the workplace that may lead to a T visa, and I want you to watch out for these signs. Where number one, your boss won't really let you take off time for lunch. They tell you that you owe them money, and that's why they're making certain deductions from your paycheck. They refuse to give you safety equipment. You generally feel scared of your boss. If you feel scared of your boss, that's a pretty good sign that something is happening that I need to take a look at. Next is if your boss has told you things that bring up your immigration status so that you feel like you might get in trouble. They tell you that you can't find a job anywhere else, so you have to work for them. There's so many signs that you may be eligible for a T visa, and the only way for us to find out for sure if you're eligible is for you to give us a call, 212-248-7907. Now, you don't need to be tied up in a basement to qualify for a T visa. Sometimes trafficking victims for immigration purposes are right in front of our eyes in the restaurants that we go to, in the nail salons where we go to get our nails done. It happens all the time. In general, for a T visa, what we're looking for is, as the employee, do you have fear of your boss and of them doing something to cause harm to you if you don't work there, okay? Give us a call, Shasha, 212-248-7907. Please talk about VAWA from a citizen's son to his mother, from Edith. Edith, thank you for the question. So if you are the parent of a adult US citizen child, that means that they just have to be 21 or older, and you don't have a legal entry, or your child is not going to help you file for a green card. I want to ask you a few questions because we may have a way to help you get your green card, to help you get your work permit, to help you get your travel document without ever leaving the US, okay? I want to ask you, has your child spoken back to you roughly, ever told you that you're not good enough for them, or made you feel like you're not good enough for them because you're an immigrant, made you feel guilty that you can't give them a better life because you don't have papers? Do they make fun of your English, but do it in a really, really bad way? Do they insult you in front of your friends and family? Do they run away from home? Do they constantly get arrested? Do they put you in a situation, Edith, where you're afraid that you might get in trouble with the law, right? Do they give you guilt trips? These are usually signs of what is considered extreme cruelty. Extreme cruelty is just emotional abuse. Emotional abuse. How do we know that it's emotional abuse? Well, have you lost sleep, gained weight, lost weight, feel like you've lost interest in your activities, it developed anxiety, high blood pressure, things like that? If certain of these things are happening, and not all of these things have to happen, then you may be eligible to get a green card based upon what you have suffered through your adult child. And I want you to give us a call, 212-248-7907. And for the kids out there that are watching, you know you have that problem sibling. If you have that problem sibling that constantly keeps disrespecting your mom or dad, and you know that your mom or dad doesn't really have any other way of getting a green card, then I want you to give us a call. 212-248-7907. This case is not going to affect your sibling. And if you're a parent who's watching, this case is not going to affect your son or your daughter. They're going to live their merry, happy lives without ever feeling any impact whatsoever. But you deserve a green card. You've gone through a lot. You've raised your kids. You've been in this country as an immigrant working in this country. God knows what you have gone through and what you suffer on a daily basis, okay? The last thing you need is to suffer at home too without security, because if you get deported, something happens to you, then who will take care of the rest of your kids? So definitely give us a call, 212-248-7907. It's my passion. It's my passion to work on these cases. And it's my passion to work on VAWA cases, because it's difficult enough living here in the United States without that feeling of security. And I want you to know, if you're watching me, that your dreams matter a lot to me. Your dreams matter a lot to me and to my team. We really are very passionate and we care a lot about our clients, okay? So give us a call, 212-248-7907. Why are they taking forever for renewal? I have a 1-year wait right now from Birueta Benjamin. Yeah, why does immigration take as long as they do for anything? I have no idea. That's the question of my life, but they take a long time, but you will get it, okay? So don't worry. Does VAWA affect your spouse in any way, from Stacey Luna? Stacey Luna, it does not affect your spouse at all. It does not affect your spouse. VAWA is meant to be confidential, but it's also meant to not create any legal trouble or any social trouble or anything like that for your spouse. You don't need a police report to file for VAWA. You don't need to get law enforcement involved at all. Literally, you can file for VAWA. Your spouse or your child may never, ever know. They'll never be harmed. It'll never be a public record, okay? What's the status with DACA? It's the same. I'm so sorry. It's the same status. If I'm the victim of simple assault, then can I apply for a U visa from Sanju? It depends. Normally, we need to have like a felony level crime. But I would say I'm not the best person to ask about U visas. I will go ahead and do a little bit more research and get back to you on this, okay? What about emotional abuse from a U.S. citizen spouse from Beltran? Beltran, if you have suffered emotional abuse from your U.S. citizen spouse, your husband, or your wife, and I don't care if you're in a same-sex marriage or in a hetero marriage, whatever it is, if you have suffered emotional abuse from your U.S. citizen or green card holding spouse, you may be able to get a green card on your own and get a work permit and to get a travel document. And what is emotional abuse? Emotional abuse is basically mind games with you, things done to you to chip away at your confidence. For example, if your spouse is constantly demeaning you, cursing you, telling you you're a bad mom, a bad father, that you're no good, cursing at you, comparing you to other people. Also, you have to look at things like if you're being isolated, like they don't want you to go anywhere without them. They go through your phone, they go through your messages. All these things can lead to emotional abuse, okay? So definitely, if you've been going through this, give us a call, 212-248-7907. How much is a consultation? A consultation is $150, and actually we are doing case evaluations right now with my legal team. All right. Tiago is asking, your office wants to take my VAWA case. It's a good case. I'd like to know if the down payment I can make in 2 times in 1 month and a half. Tiago, give us a call. I'm sure we can work something out, okay? Diana, hi. Kiara, yes, I'm really proud of my approval rate. I'm really proud of it. Do you have an office in New Jersey? From David. David, I don't have an office in New Jersey. My only office is in New York, but I work with clients all over the US. You don't have to worry about where you live. I have a lot of clients who are on my feed. They can attest to the fact that no matter where they live, in Texas, California, wherever they are, we are doing our work exceptionally well for them without a hitch, and probably even better than if you had to wait, travel 1 hour to come to my office, wait, And then just to give a document or a payment, we don't have to do any of that. Everything is done virtually and online and on the phone, okay? All right, let's see. Let's see if I can do one more question. So Jeffrey Delarmente is saying, our boss fired us without a notice during the pandemic period. We're working as caregivers. They promised to pay us extra, but they didn't. Will that be a good point to apply for T visa? From Jeffrey. Jeffrey, that really depends, because I would like to know, like, did they cause you to work for them and say, stay with us for another few more weeks? I'll pay you at the end of 3 more weeks. If they say that to you and they induce you to stay and they don't pay you, then that can possibly lead to a T visa. So give us a call and we will evaluate your case, okay? 212-248-7907. All right, let's see if I can do a couple more questions before. Hey, Osenu, hi. All right. I have a question about, do you know why my hearing date keeps getting moved? It can depend on so many things about why your hearing date keeps getting moved. Usually the courts are in a little bit of a backlog right now, and it's probably because of that. Leslie Karina is saying, so happy I came across your love. Thank you so much, Leslie. Lyrical Neil, hi, nice to see you. How long does it take for a work permit to get approved? So a work permit can take anywhere from 6 months to a year, depending on what category of work permit you're doing. It really depends. And can you lose your job if your work permit is expired and you don't have a new one? It depends on your employer. It depends on if your employer is checking your work permit dates and how strict they are, okay? All right, everyone, that's all the time I have for tonight. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you all have a great night. If you are in need of a case evaluation, if anything I said tonight strikes a chord in you, please give us a call, 212-248-7907. And I have one favor to ask. If anything I say, you watch my videos, anyone who's in the situations that I talk about, please share my videos with them, okay? You never know who you're going to be able to help. You don't know whose life you might be able to uplift and to help save, okay? 212-248-7937. Have a great night.